Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the third update to my whole collection project pan that I'm doing in collaboration with my beautiful friend Sarah, who is obviously linked down below, and I would really appreciate it if you head over to her channel and show her video some love as well. I've been having so much fun collaborating with her. We talk pretty frequently over on Instagram about how we're doing, and it's just nice to have somebody to hold you accountable. This project was created by Becky Loves Kanga, but Sarah and I were inspired by Alexi. Both their channels will be linked down below as well. This is, I think it's going to be a year-long project. We haven't really set an end date, but we do monthly updates. We have 10 products. We each have our own kind of rules set into our products. We completed our full makeup inventory where each pan of product counted as one item. So for example, this is 6 products, even though, you know, it's one contour palette. I'm trying to get better at explaining what projects are as I'm getting started, so I hope that that worked for you. I'm going to start off today's video with an update, so I'm looking over here, my computer's here, on how my collection itself is doing, because I do keep my spreadsheet up to date. So for our last update, I had 979 products in my spreadsheet, and now I have 986. So it did go up. That is mostly due to BoxyCharm. I'm now going to get started on the products. I typically go in order that they were kind of chosen, but I think I'm going to just start with eyeshadows. So I've managed to accumulate like 6 eyeshadows basically into this project, and I also have a Pan Those Eyeshadows project going on, so I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed. Great, that was a fail on my own rules basically. So I'm going to go in order that they are pulled, but we're going to just talk about eyeshadows first. And again, everything was completely randomized. I think I said that, like a random number generator chose our products for us. We had no control over them. So the first eyeshadow I pulled is out of this Crown Brushes Glam Metals palette, which I don't love, but I liked it enough to keep it in my collection for the last over a year that I've had it. And of course, the worst shade in this palette is the one that I got, and that is Black Metal here. My goal with eyeshadow is to hit pan, and I'm not there yet. I have been tallying my uses, which was inspired by Christina Chang, and since the last update I used this an additional 5 times, which brought my total uses up to 25 uses. And there's a dip at the end of the video. There will be close-ups and swatches and comparison pictures, all that towards the end. There is a good dip. I've been using this to line my upper lash line to deepen up the outer V. Sometimes I'll put it in the very tail of my brow, not today, just to get some use out of it. Like, I don't mind right here being a little darker, if that makes sense, but it is a terrible black shade. It's like more of a charcoal gray. Hating it. Not a lot of progress. Great. The next shade that was pulled was from my Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, and again, the worst shade in the whole palette. Thank you so much, Google. And it's the shade Pop, which is down here. I have a huge dip going in here. I thought I could shoot for pan for this update, but I must be so close unless these pans are extremely deep, which I have no way to tell because I don't have any pan in this palette. This is the chunkiest, flakiest shade. It's very glittery, very metallic. I have it in my inner corners today. That's how I've been getting the most use out of it. And then on filming days, I do pop it on the very tops of my cheekbone, like right here. But in person, it is very glittery on the face. Like, it just looks kind of silly. In my opinion, at least that's not my makeup vibes, but that is how I've been using it, and since the last update I've used this 9 more times. Next is the shade Cozy from my Tarte Tartelette Toasted palette. This is looking a little busted. You can't really see the mirror. It's loose in here. It has like an imprint of all the eyeshadows on it. And Crackle, which is my least favorite shade in this whole palette, is a little busted because I told Wyatt, got a hold of it. I said, no, put it down. And he, like, you know how toddlers are. But Cozy is this deep warm brown shade down here. I do have it in my crease today. I have used this 5 times since the last update. Again, I'm working on essentially 11 eyeshadows currently, and it's been a lot, so 5 additional uses on that. We're starting to see a bit of a dip, but I do know from watching other panners that these eyeshadow pans are quite deep, so I can't imagine I'm hitting pan on that anytime soon. From the Blinc and BoxyCharm Electric Eyes palette, I pulled the shade Autumny, I don't know, which is the 4th shade over. I have this all over my lid today, and I've only used this an additional 3 times, and there's no real dip. I find this gold to be a little too deep to be extremely versatile. Like, obviously it's still a neutral shade. Gold goes with a lot of looks, warm tone looks, but it's just a bit of a deeper gold, so I can't just like top it on top of anything else. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's my excuse. And the last official eyeshadow that I'm working on is from my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and it's the shade Amaretto, which is starting to see a dip. I'm really happy about my progress on this. Obviously, it's nothing major, but these shadows are so densely packed. I'm surprised I can see any wear at all, and I've used this 5 additional times since my last update, but I'm really liking how this is coming along. It's a pretty difficult shade to work with. It's purpley, browny, a little metallic, or like a little shimmery, but not really enough. So I've just been using it in my outer corner on more purpley looks, and that seems to work out fine. And the last eyeshadow I've been using is from my Naked Cosmetics Holographic highlighter palette. And this is a highlighter palette. I did try it on my cheeks, the shade I pulled, but it's too deep for my skin tone right now. So the only way I can use this currently is as an eyeshadow. I'm hoping, I don't mind playing with duochrome colorful highlighters. I like that. That's why I own a palette like this, but this shade is just too deep on my fair skin right now. So hopefully as the warmer months come along, I will be able to use it on my cheekbones and make faster progress. But it's this purple shade. It's really hard to show you because of the packaging. It's this top purple shade. It has a bit of a pinky shift to it, and I've used it 3 times since the last update. That's not very much, but it's not the most versatile shade. If I'm doing a really neutral, like easier look, not neutral like in the sense that this is warm neutral, but like neutral and natural, I like popping this on the inner corner as something like a little pop of interest. I've had this all over my lid once. I'm really enjoying playing with it, but I don't know how long it's going to take to hit pan in it. At least it is looking more used at this point. Okay, if I look a little worse for wear, I'm a little out of breath. I just ran to the bus stop to get Max. So I talked about all of the shades that I'm using as eyeshadows. None of them have pan yet, so they are just staying in the project to continue to get used. The next non-eyeshadow product I have in here is this CoverFX blurring primer. My goal with this is to use it up halfway. I have used it 8 times since the last update. I have been having a bit of a hard time with this because I'm trying to, any product type that I don't currently have in a project, for example, I don't have a foundation in any of my project pans right now, so I'm trying to rotate through them really well, make sure they're all getting some use instead of just narrowing in and focusing on one. But I've noticed that this doesn't play well with all of my foundations. It does not play well with my CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream or my Wet n Wild Photo Focus. Those are the two I've noticed the most, where they literally break apart on top of each other. Like, my skin looks disgusting. But it works really well with Estee Lauder Double Wear, Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. Like, there are ones that looks really well on. I have it underneath the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation today. So that's why I haven't been getting a ton of use out of it. Again, my goal is to use it up halfway. I think in another month maybe. Well, there we go. I will be at that mark. I'm using this quite a bit. It's still hollow, like in the middle, but I can't get the sides all the way pushed down there. So one more month and I will be ready to rotate this out, I believe. Next up is the Bodyography Heatherberry Lip Liner. When I pulled this into this project, it was brand new in my collection, never used. So my goal with this is also to use it up only halfway. I do have markings here. Just hit myself in the face with this. But again, the close-up of this will be towards the end of the video, but I've used about the same amount as I did last time. My goal line is way down here, so I think this is going to be in this project for most of the year, unfortunately, but I did use this 13 times this past month. Next, I have the Perfume That Won't Die. This is the Dior Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. It's only 5 mils, and I've used this 22 times since the last update and over 60 times since pulling this into this project, and even then it was not completely brand new. There's such a tiny amount left in here that I know this will be gone next month. I can't believe it took 4 months to use up less than 5 mils because, as I said, this was not brand new. That is honestly the bane of my existence right now. Every day I've been wearing it. It's not even a scent that I really love that much. It's not cruelty free, so I wouldn't repurchase it anyways, but it's just so frustrating. And the last product that I have in this project is from this contour kit that I showed you at the beginning. Highlight number 2 was the shade that was chosen for me. It is the yellow toned under eye setting powder, and I've used this product 10 times. I don't really see much of a dip or anything, but when I compare it to highlight 3, which is much too deep for my skin tone, I can see that the powder has gone down pretty evenly throughout the pan. I just can't see a dip, but I can see the metal ring like around the edges much more than I can on a shade that's hardly been touched, like these ones. So unfortunately I can't roll in another product this time. I'm really frustrated by that. These two are frustrating me the most, I think. I use this primer, like I said, almost every time I do my makeup, as long as it plays nice with the foundation, but I'm discovering some that it just doesn't, and I don't know. Would you say that's halfway? I don't really think it's quite half yet, because obviously it holds more product down here. So next month, I want this to be out, and this better be gone next month, or I am probably going to lose my marbles. Using this over 60 times is a ridiculous amount of use for in a project pan, I feel like. So those are my goals for the next update. As I said, I'm really disappointed that I can't roll in anything else right now, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!